I don't bounce like I used to, and this is the story of growing old. Now, many of us, if we're okay, if we're ambulant and we're still getting about, we think we're in good condition, don't we, for our age. And you know you're getting old when you go and see the doctor and he examines you and then he says, you're not in bad condition for your age. We might not be able to run as fast, jump as fast, climb trees like we did, play rugby, play football, do all those things like we used to do. But we're not bad, we can get by, can't we? We're not in bad condition for our age. Now this is all well and good as long as we're on a nice level surface with no bumps and no little stones and pebbles and bricks sticking up that might hinder our shuffling geriatric stride. Because if we are on a surface like that, it can lead to instant disaster. This happened to me last week. I was getting out of the car with Molly on the car park, and I was round the back of the car getting a pram out of the boot, and I was like turned sideways, and I was stepping sideways with my left leg, and my right leg came forward to take a step but stubbed against a raised stone on the car park. Well, obviously I kept on going in a forward direction, but there was no step in front, there was no foot in front of me to put down. This foot was still stubbed against this stone on the car park, so my momentum just took me forward and down, and it took me forward and down onto my left knee, and that hurt like hell. But that wasn't the worst thing, because as I went down and hit the ground, my head snapped forward, and I don't know, it just did something to my neck, and I've been in a pile of pain since. It's going now, it's pretty alright. It wasn't anything serious, it's just, that's what happens. I'm just coming up to a woodland now, and about 6 months ago, something like that, sometime last year, I did an episode, I did a video about talking to people, and I did it while I was sitting next to a little stream. And to get away from that stream, you walk up the bank and then you go through a broken fence. So I walked up the bank, went through this broken fence, and at the bottom of this broken fence there's a little bit of a rise, just a little lip. And as I was going through, I stubbed my foot against the lip, didn't I? Because I wasn't picking my feet up high enough, was I? And I went down, but I went down on my right shoulder, and it killed me, because I had a backpack on with all my recording equipment, and I lay there having a quiet minute, having a bit of a kip, thinking, oh, this is a good excuse for a nice lie in the sun. And I thought at least there was nobody there to see me do it. And then this old bloke that I see on a regular basis walked around the corner and just looked at me and went, what are you doing down there? But that right shoulder is still hurt. I mean, it hurt like hell. I obviously did something. I think it grinds now. My shoulder grinds. I think I'd like damaged the gristle or something. But I just get on with things. I don't bother about things like that. And it's getting easier, but it still hurts a little bit. Because even though we don't realise it, as we're getting older, we are fit. We're only as fit as we need to be. Time does take a toll. We don't want to accept it, but it does. So what you do, you cut your cloth. You don't play rugby anymore. You don't climb mountains. You don't go wild swimming in torrents of water. You don't race motorbikes. But that's okay, because you're in good condition for your age. So when you go down, you stay down, and many of us will have experienced this. You stay down, thankful for that little pause to get your breath and have a lie down. Because being horizontal, taking every opportunity when you're an old fogey to be horizontal, you've got to take it. You've got to grab that opportunity. You take it. But pain does stay longer. Pain stays longer in your joints. Stiffness accumulates as you recover. And that's just part of life. isn't it? It's quite natural, it's all part of ageing, and it happens to us all if we're fortunate enough to live into old age. Even those people who keep super fit and think they are super fit, you are, but only for your age. You couldn't compete against some 25-year-old. Your footsteps won't be as high. You will be more prone to stubbing your toe against rocks as you walk and going down, and then remembering when you go down that it's going to take longer to heal, if it ever heals at all. And if it doesn't heal, then we just adapt in old age, don't we? We just adapt to the aches and pains and bruises and bangs and breaks and strains and twists and all the rubbish that goes with the privilege of being old. By all means, if you want to, complain about your aching limbs and your failing eyesight and the lack of clarity in your hearing. Complain, because old people are expected to complain, aren't they? Your grandma used to complain, your mum and dad used to complain as they got older, and now I am that mum and dad, or at least I'm that dad, and I am complaining because it's expected of me by society, and all I'm doing is complying with society's expectations. So make the most of it. If you don't complain, people will think there's something wrong with you. And there probably is. Don't complain when you groan when you get up from the chair, because you're probably only doing that because you've seen it on TV or you've seen your parents do it, and it's just one of those things that's passed down from generation to generation. Groaning when you get up from a sitting position or from a kneeling position, it's like inherited behaviour. It's expected of you. There was probably some Neanderthal getting up in his cave somewhere, and he groaned when he got up, and his little son, his little hairy son, looked and thought, oh, my dad does that, so when I get to his age, I'll have to groan when I get up because it's expected of me. Don't complain when you hit the ground and you think, oh, God, no, because you're worried that that broken bone may never heal, but will just crumble away like a piece of shortbread. This is just payback. This is payback for being one of the lucky few who's had the fantastic privilege of growing old. So many don't. So many people in the world never have this privilege. But we don't think about that, do we? We think about and we complain about what's wrong with us without thinking, this pain is just a reminder that I am so lucky. And I should wear this pain like a badge of honour, because there's so many people killed, natural causes, wars, illness, accidents, fights, whatever. People just go very early, and it's an absolute tragedy because they never get to live their lives. They never get to be this old. They never get to be able to complain about just having a bang, because that's all it is. We're complaining because we've had a bang without thinking about the decades and decades and decades of life that we've had that other people haven't had the privilege to have. So like I say, wear it with a badge of honour. Be proud. Be a pain in the arse because society expects it of you. Shout at young people. Push into queues. Complain about everything. Even if you get something, if you get a meal or a gift and it's the most fabulous thing you've ever had in the world and it brings your heart joy and it's wonderful, complain about it because it's expected of you and it reminds the people around you that you're still there. And they will resent you and love you in equal measure. So carry on. You're not bad for your age. And we shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.